Hi everybody, welcome to the channel for the battle report of a new training game. I had a training game against Orion, who was playing, it's a Spanish player, I think he was playing for Team Ukraine at ETC, so we had a training together. This is my list, you know it already, and this is his list, so he's playing, I would say an MSU type of demon list, which is quite classic, has a Vanadar Scourge, then a Harbinger on a Great Beast of Prophecy, 23 Succubi, 15, 10 Myrmidon, all with a 9 Ninja. Then he has 3 Brazen Beasts with Flaming Attack, 4 Claw Fiends, a Blazing Glory, 5 Hellhounds, a Titan Slayer Chariot, 4 Veil Serpent, and 5 Furies. So a lot of threats, combat-oriented demon list, really. Then below you have the spell selection. We played one of the ETC setup, which was Capture the Flag and Counter Trust. And below you have the spell section of both players. So I took the following, a lot of damage spell that can do pretty good job against demon, and he took a mix between some spell useful from distance but mainly combat buff. Like I said, it's a close combat demon list, explosive matchup. I think he could potentially rush me, so it would be nice to start to be able to deny him that. Plenty of interesting range damage, which is another argument to start the game and try to reduce some of his threat. Thinking especially about the mobile threat that could come forward, chaff me, and allow him to get the charge. Estimation, I felt the matchup is dangerous for me. It's the type of matchup that I don't like that much. Usually rate them negatively. The deployment was the following. So we had a quite similar map with 2 impassable on each side of the map. I won the roll for side and had the bottom, so I don't have the occasion to start. He obviously started to deploy by putting some Furies here. I think I started with the Frosty here in the middle to push him back. After that, he put Blazing Glory on the left, I put Giant, he put something else, I put the Dogs, and then he dropped. So I kept all my scoring to be either left or right. He dropped the following: 15 Myrmidon, Blazing Glory Fiends, Brazen Beast, Furies, the Brazen character within Succubi, Veil Serpent, the Dogs, then Scourge, Myrmidon, and Titan Slayer Chariot on the far right. And my deployment, I decided to go heavily on the left to basically deny him some aggressivity due to the impassable. So I compact on the left, put the combat mercs, the shooty mercs with BSB and general, and here the 2 mages within the bruiser block and the darts a bit in the back, but still able to activate them later in the game if I need to. He started the game the following way, so he decided to chaff me with everything. So I put forward the Blazing Glory to chaff this unit, he put the Furies forward to chaff both the Dog and the combat Merc Vets, and then he chaffs me with the Dog to chaff the Frost Mammoth and still have line of sight to charge me with multiple stuff. And then the rest was just ready to charge next. In Magic Phase, he got +2 weapon skill on the Blazing Glory. In case I want to charge, I could potentially get blocked in this combat and then counter charge, so this is definitely a trap. Then I dispelled Twisted Effigy since I wanted to do some range damage, and he got all target in area mode. My turn 1, charge the chaff, move back as much as I could with the Frosty, move a big back here in the middle to deny him any easy charge, and then I started to push with the Giant to basically made him, if he failed the march I could charge him potentially, and he could here charge me only with 1 model, and I was outside of the fiend, so try to go a bit around. Then let's move on to Magic. I got a Swarm of Insect that did 2 wounds to his Blazing Glory. So basically here, my goal was to kill the Blazing Glory with range damage. I'm in short range with all my shooting plus my magic. So I definitely want to kill that. Kill those Furies with the Dogs. I have like 9, 11, 13 attacks on 3+, should be enough with a charge and a flank to get rid of them. And then either I can overrun and chaff or stay here and potentially flee a charge. And then I'm still quite far away, and if I deny him this 2 piece of chaff next round to be able to push, he needs to feed me something else, potentially. So I like that possibility, and this unit that could potentially chaff me is still far away from my backline. So I felt if I clean these 2 units, maybe it's harder for him to charge, because then he had to sacrifice something more expensive to deny me the charge. And it's the main risk for him to get all these automatic impact hits, and potentially me striking B4 thanks to the Frost Mammoth. What happened then in shooting? I shoot at the Blazing Glory but do only 1 wound with all my shots, meaning he's still alive, which is a problem. And then close combat, to make things worse, I do only 2 wounds and he passes his check on -4, meaning he's still alive, still here. So I didn't deal with these 2 units, meaning now he can be even more aggressive. So on his turn he took multiple charges. He took the Blazing Glory automatic into this unit, which I hold. Then he took the Fiends here on the 8. I stand and shoot, did nothing. And then he took this unit on the 10 Swift Ride into this unit, which is definitely dangerous. If you get all 3, I'm in big trouble. Then he took also the Scourge, was like 10, 11 or 11 into the Frost Mammoth. And he makes basically all except those guys on the 10. He comes with a Blazing Glory, touching my BSB, expecting, I think, to take a challenge and be stubborn. And the other unit contacted the rest of the unit where I have the Great Khan. So we will see how that happened. But at the time, I felt I could beat 4 Fins and Blazing Glory, potentially even get a free pivot, or at least kill them in 2 rounds and then be ready for what's come next. And here he charged also with the dogs into this combat, which I couldn't deny him, basically. Here you see the Scourge coming to this combat, which I'm already in trouble regarding the right side here, and the rest just push forward. In the magic phase, he got +2 weapon skill on the Fins to make them hit on 2+. They have +1 to hit, +1 to wound, thanks to Smother rule. And then he got also reroll to wound on the Fins, so 13 attack on the 2+, and then 3+ rollable. Close combat, I kill only 2 Furies, so he's still alive. He kills my dog, I think so. And then this combat, maybe I think the Scourge killed my Frosty and reform in this combat. We got into a challenge, so my BSB killed his Blazing Glory, which was a pleasant surprise. So then I was excited about the rest here on the right, but with 13 attacks, he did 9 wounds, which is somehow expected. And then I had back 14 attack from Mercvets on a 4+ poison and then 3+. And then the Great Khan, which was, I think I took pet weapon to make it 3+, with 6 attack. And with all that, I did pretty much nothing. He had a charge, a standard, kill 3 of my model. I'm not steadfast. I lost like by 2 or 3, and I just broke from combat. And that's already the end, because I don't have general anymore, don't have a BSB anymore. I lose the flag. He has an overrun into this unit, and that's it. I mean, there is no purpose into continuing. So that was really a brutal loss. Didn't expect that at all. I was feeling like if he breaks me with just 4 Fiends, then what happened when the rest comes in? I mean, that just was just impossible for me. So well done to Orion. I mean, brutal loss for me. I think my deployment was not deep enough. The matchup is not good, and I could have, since board control means nothing on capture the flag, I could have deployed a bit deeper to deny him combat too quickly. I think turn 2 in combat this way is way too soon, so I should have deployed better here. I will show you after on the map how it looks like. I struggled to deal with the chaff, which is a huge issue, definitely on my turn 1. That was my main chance to avoid too complicated combat. And yeah, by doing that, that was another problem. Didn't expect the 4 Fiends to blow through my Merc with 2 characters in 1 round. That was definitely impressive. And the Frost being a key piece in the matchup due to agility, cap changing, not dropping in the first 2-3 drop would have been better. I could have shown 1 dart in the back and moved the darts early in the game. But definitely the Frost Mammoth was key, and having him too far away from my Mercvets was an issue in the combat I had to take. How could I deploy? First of all, change a bit the 3 first drop. I think could have put like giant dogs somewhere in the middle. Maybe 1 tribesman dart here in the back looking either right or left. And then the rest here in this corner. Bruises, Albert, shooty Mercvets to make him really a long way for him to like march 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, and then come to combat, which leaves me more time to do shooting and magic and prepare a counter charge and make very hard for him to be aggressive against me. So I think negative matchup, sometimes very negative matchup, where you can really lose heavily like it was the case here. You need to take very extreme approach in the deployment, and I think the way I deployed just gave him too many options to be aggressive and win it heavily, and he did that way better than me. Guys, that's it. It was a short practice, brutal loss, but sometimes it's good to take a slap in the face, especially before ETC, to just wake up and say, okay, let's be careful about some matchup. If I get those kind of matchup, I need to be way more conservative and not get into such an explosive matchup that can go heavily to a 0 very quickly. So that was a good wake-up call for me. Guys, thanks a lot for watching this battle report. Talk to you soon. There is another one before the ETC battle report. Bye-bye.